How would you like to visit the underwater world of the coral reef? In warm, clear oceans around the world, coral reefs circle our Earth like a belt of beautiful jewels. Coral reefs are like rainbow-colored cities. Even the buildings are alive. Day and night, many creatures are out swimming around. Others peek from cracks and holes. Humans cannot breathe underwater like a fish can. But you can still visit coral reefs. Strap on a face mask, snorkel, and flippers and come along. Corals belongs to a group of animals that have a soft jelly-like bodies. They all have slippery arms with tiny stinging cells. Jellyfish, anemones, and sea fans are among their many relatives. The reef buildings are made from the skeletons of many tiny animals called coral polyps. Each little coral animal looks like a flower growing from a stony pot. It is no wonder people once thought they were plants. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of small coral animals lock together in fantastic shapes. Some form branches like the horns of a deer, an elk, or a moose. Some make huge mounds that look like giant brains. Others grow in the shape of mushrooms. Coral reefs grow in shallow, clear, warm water. Once a year, a few days after the last full moon of summer, reef corals release their eggs into the sea. The eggs grow into little larvae, baby corals, that drift for several weeks. Young corals need a rocky bottom or other hard surface to grow on. Sometimes they settle on shipwrecks. They can grow into beautiful shapes that make the wrecks look like coral castle. For reef-building corals to grow, the temperature has to be just right. Not too hot, not too cold. There must also be just the right amount of salt in the water. Not too much, not too little. And reef corals need sunlight to grow. Hundreds of tiny plants shaped like jelly beans live inside each soft coral animal. They make the corals colorful: green, blue, gold, pink, or sometimes even pale purple. When everything is just right, reef-building corals build hard skeletons around their soft bodies. That the corals divide many times and lock together to form reefs. These are the buildings in the underwater city. So who live in this underwater city? Millions of creatures. Some are short, round, and hollow. Others are long and slim, and a few look like stars or pincushions. Many are very small. There are sponges, animals that have no arms, legs, or eyes. To eat, they pump water through dozens of tiny holes in their bodies and strain out small plants and animals. There are mollusks, animals with small, soft bodies and no backbones. Some, such as clams and snails, live in hard shells. Others, the octopuses and squids, can move fast by squirting water out of their bodies. It's a special kind of jet propulsion. There are also sea stars, sea cucumbers, serpent stars, and sand dollars, the spiny skinned animals. They move using their hundreds of feet with suckers on the end. Some reef animals are soft on the inside but have their skeleton on the outside. Look at the crabs, lobsters, and shrimp. Each leg, each long antenna, even each eye is covered in a stiff outer shell. As they grow, they split out their old shells. The new shells form. It's like they are changing into larger clothes. Many types of worms live on the reefs too. but they are not like the earthworms you know. Some are bright and fancy, such as Christmas tree worms. Others are very small and hide deep within the corals. And of course there are fish. All fish have a backbone, beautiful eyes, a heart, and a brain. About 1/4 of all of the kinds of fish known in the sea live around the coral reefs. There are parrotfish, as bright as a tropical birds with a mouth that looks a lot like a parrot's beak. Bright yellow silver and black butterfly fish dance about, usually in pairs, sometimes in groups called schools. There are angelfish, as gentle as kittens, grouper, as playful as puppies, damselfish that move like dancers, and hundreds of others. Many reef dwellers find food in nearby meadows or sea grasses. Some eat tiny creatures that float over the reef. And there are big toothy barracuda, sleek sharks, large snappers, and moray eels. They are the predators. They eat fish or squid or other creatures who eat smaller fish, who eat seaweed or shrimp or other animals. It is all part of what makes the underwater city live and grow. Just as city had tourists, reefs have special visitors. Sometimes sea turtles slide by or pause for an underwater nap. Hawksbill turtles come too much on their favorite reef, sponges. Green sea turtles come to snack on sea grasses. Big loggerhead turtles may stop to search for a jellyfish lunch. Like turtles, dolphins may visit, then slip away to the open sea. Some fish make their own beds at night. Parrotfish spin a special jelly-like sleeping bag around themselves. Certain triggerfish sleep on their sides, covering up with a light dusting of sand. Garden eels disappear into their burrows. But coral reefs, like other great cities, never sleep. At night, many creatures come out of hiding places. Bright red squirrelfish swim out of their small caves. Bastard starfish, curled up by day, spread their arms wide at night to feed. Swimming over a reef at night, you may find yourself covered with sparkling lights. Thousands of small swimming creatures light up the sea. Tiny shrimp produce brilliant puffs of light. Jellyfish glow. Some coral reefs are much larger than our biggest cities. The Great Barrier Reef in Australia stretches out for 1,250 miles. Some reefs grow like lacy fringes along many miles offshore. Others, called atolls, grow in a ring around large lagoons. Reefs make up only of a small part of the ocean, but they are as important to the sea as rainforests are to the land. They protect the shore from storms. Some of the reef sponges, corals, and seaweeds are used to make medicines, but most important to us, coral reefs help keep the ocean healthy. For millions of years, long before people built cities, coral reefs have been living in the clear warm waters of the world, but today many reefs are sick, some are dying. To help protect coral reefs, people are trying to stop pollution from damaging them. Parks are being formed underwater. People are studying reefs to find out other things can be done to save them. With knowing comes caring. With caring, people can help restore coral reefs to good health. That's good for the corals, good for sponges, good for fish, and good for people too. Please come and visit a coral reef again soon.